Hi, back again. Annoying people with logical fallacies. Annoying the trolls with logical fallacies. Discerning the individual. Sorry, helping the individual to discern. That's a better way of putting it. We're on to shifting the burden of proof. Now this one is for all you trolls and traitors to the common man and woman out there. Shifting the burden of proof. A classic fallacy of logos, and as we said, logos means appeal to logic, that challenges an opponent to disprove a claim rather than asking the individual making the claim to defend his or her own argument. Example, these days space aliens are everywhere among us, masquerading as true humans, even right here on campus. I dare you to prove it isn't so. It's like, the claim is the globe is real. The heliocentric model is real. I dare you to prove it isn't. Or, no, prove me wrong. Prove that it's wrong. Do you know what I mean? No, it's not on me to prove it's wrong. It's not on anyone to prove it's wrong. Unless someone's making a claim. Yeah? You can't. You admit it. That means what I say has to be true. Yeah? Most probably you're one of them, since you seem to be so soft on space aliens. Not that space aliens exist, it's a lot of bullshit, but a typical tactic in using this fallacy is first to get an opponent to admit that a far-fetched claim or some fact related to it is indeed at least theoretically possible. Yeah? You're probably seeing this and all sometime from these trolls and that. Where they try and get you to admit that the claim of the globe is some fact related to it is theoretically possible, and then declare the claim proven, absent evidence to the contrary. Example, so you admit that massive undetected voter fraud is indeed possible under our current system, and could have happened in this country, at least in theory, and you can't produce even the tiniest scintilla of evidence that it didn't actually happen. Haha, I rest my case. See also argument from ignorance. See, we get this a lot from them, shifting the burden of proof. Trying to say, well, prove it's not a globe. Prove it's flat. Well, you're saying it's either globe or flat. So that's the black and white fallacy, the either or fallacy anyway. So that's fallacious in itself. But then you're trying to shift the burden of proof as well. Burden of proof is on the affirmative claim, and the affirmative claim is the one that we were all born into from birth. What have had pushed on us from birth. Yeah? Before we were old enough to critically think about it and everything else. I wasn't going to do shopping hungry fallacy. 122, silent majority fallacy. Simpletons fallacy. Slippery slope fallacy. So I've seen this and all from some of these trolls. Slippery slope fallacy. That one thing inevitably leads to another. If you two go and drink coffee together, one thing will lead to another, and next thing you know, you'll be pregnant and end up spending your life on welfare, living in the projects, or a housing estate, or a housing scheme. Number 122, the snow job fallacy. Also, fallacia ad verbosum, information bias. I think I did this in one the other day. It says it's not actually a fallacy, it's just a tactic used in society and stuff for disinformation and control and stuff. But it's here with fallacies. But the one that I did the other day on pseudo-logical fallacies, it says it's not actually a fallacy, but we're still going to read it anyway and give you an idea what it is. It's a fallacy of logos, proving a claim by overwhelming an audience, snowing them under with mountains of true but marginally relevant documents, graphs, words, facts, numbers, information, and statistics that look extremely impressive, but which the intended audience cannot be expected to understand or properly evaluate, because they don't usually have much time to understand it all or evaluate it all. I mean, there's too much there, too much to take in, you know what I mean? So then it just puts them off, yeah? Puts people off looking any further or anything, because there's too much information there for them to take in, and they think, oh, it's too much hard work, you know what I mean? And they walk away, you know what I mean? Or they forget all about it, or, you know what I mean? Or they forget half the stuff they've seen or been told, you know what I mean? Because there's too much information there. So it's called the snow job. This is a corrupted argument from logos. An argument from logos is an argument from logic. So also, lying with statistics, the opposite of this fallacy is the plain truth fallacy. Soldier's honour fallacy. Standard version fallacy. 126 we're going to go to. Star power. The straw man. We see a lot of this as well. Straw man fallacy. Yeah, all these maps and models and propaganda maps and models and stuff like that, and when they're trying to attach all these stuff to you, then that's a logical fallacy called the straw man fallacy. Especially if you haven't mentioned that, or you don't support that. Also, the straw individual, the straw figure. Hang on 1 minute, cat's trying to jump up on the sofa. It's claws in my foot. You watch what you're doing, silly. The fallacy of setting up a phony, weak, extreme, or ridiculous parody of an opponent's argument and then proceeding to knock it down or reduce it to absurdity with a rhetorical wave of the hand. Example, vegetarians say animals have feelings like you and me. Ever seen a cow laugh at a Shakespeare comedy? So that's a straw man. You know what I mean? Or they turn around and they go, oh well, I mean, here's this straw man map, here's this flat earth map, flat earth model, domes, ice walls, all this sort of stuff. They're all straw men. Yeah, they've been put out there, propaganda, to be attacked because they're easily attacked. It's a ridiculous parody of the argument. Yeah. 127. The taboo, also dogmatism. The ancient fallacy of unilaterally declaring certain bedrock arguments, assumptions, dogmas, standpoints, or actions sacrosanct and not open to discussion. This is what we seem to be coming up against quite a lot. The taboo. Where things are, oh no, it's been established for years, it's a globe, it's been established for years, it's these assumptions that they had hundreds of thousands of years ago, whatever, they've been established, and and we assume it to be this, so it's got to be true, and all this lot, like you mean, the maths fits it, and all this sort of stuff. It's sacrosanct, it's not open to discussion, it's not open to question, shut up, go away, stop being retarded, it's not that you're not intelligent enough, and all this shit, yeah? Ad hominem attacks and all these other bullshit. Yeah. It's the taboo. Yeah. So it's not open to discussion or arbitrarily taking some emotional tones, logical standpoints, doctrines or options off the table beforehand. Example, no, let's not discuss my sexuality. Don't bring my drinking into this. Or before we start, we need to know I won't allow you to play the race card or permit you to attack my arguments by claiming that's just what Hitler would say. Also applies to discounting or rejecting certain arguments, facts and evidence, or even experiences out of hand because they are supposedly against the globe, against the heliocentric model. Yeah. Or other sacred dogma, like scientism. Not actual science. Actual science is fucking excellent. As long as it's natural science or applied science using tangible substance. So we can show each other practically and demonstrate our claims practically. That's what science is about. That's what science should be. using a scientific method. Yeah. See also the priori argument. That's the first one I did in the first video. This fallacy occasionally degenerates into a separate, distracting argument over who gets to define the parameters, tones, dogmas, and taboos of the main argument. Though at this point, reasoned discourse most often breaks down and the entire affair becomes a naked argument ad baculum. See also MYOB, tone policing, and calling cards. I wasn't going to do 128, they're all crooks. 129 for person effect, no. 130, Thousand Flowers fallacy. Also, take names and kick butt, a sophisticated modern argumentum ad baculum in which free and open discussion and brainstorming are temporarily allowed and encouraged, even demanded, within an organisation or country, not primarily in order to hear and consider opposing views, but rather to smoke out, identify and later punish, fire or liquidate dissenters, or those not following the party line. The names come from the Thousand Flowers period of Chinese history when communist leader Chairman Mao Zedong applied this policy with deadly effect. Throwing good money after bad. Tina, there is no alternative. Love it or leave it fallacy, get over it, suck it up, it is what it is. Tone policing, a corrupt argument from pathos, so an argument from emotion. And delivery, the fallacy of judging the validity of an argument primarily by its emotional tone of delivery, ignoring the reality that a valid fact or argument remains valid whether it is offered calmly and deliberatively or is shouted in a shrill or even hysterical tone. Like I said, doesn't matter how you give the information, the proof and everything else. Doesn't matter if you're doing it calmly, using NLP tactics, or you're shouting and swearing and everything else because you're angry and you're fucking pissed off. All this bullshit that's going on. Yeah? See? Doesn't matter what your tone is like. It's the information that's being given. You have to discern the information. Not how it's given, or the manner in which the information is given. It's the information itself. Yeah? Don't worry about personality. It's not about personalities or anything like that. It's about the information given. Yeah? Whether carefully written and published in a professional academic language in a respected peer-reviewed journal. Well, peer review, I've done a video on that. Should science be open to question a while ago? So you should go and have a look. It's about the peer review process and everything else. It's just used as a retort. Anything that's outside the box, they say, oh, is it peer reviewed and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's a retort to try and shut it down and stuff, basically. Or screamed through a bullhorn and peppered with vulgarity. Like I said, it's only words. Only words. Doesn't matter. Conversely, a highly urgent emotional matter is still urgent, even if argued coldly and rationally. This fallacy creates a false dichotomy between reason and emotion, and thus implicitly favours those who are not personally involved or emotionally invested in an argument. Example, I know you're upset, but I won't discuss it with you until you calm down. Or, I'd believe what you wrote were it not for your abhorrent overuse of exclamation points throughout the text. Or, alternatively, you seem to be taking the death of your spouse way too calmly. You're under arrest for homicide. Or for murder. You have the right to remain silent. Tone policing is frequent in the contemporary discourse of power, particularly in response to discourse of protest, and is occasionally used in sexist ways. The accusation of being shrill is almost always used against women, never against men. See also the F-bomb. Yeah, so like I said, it doesn't matter how the information's given to you. It's if the information's accurate and correct or not. It's about the content. Not personalities or anything like that. It's about the content and the way. It's not about the way it's given. It's about the content itself. Look for the walk. The walk and the actions. The content will tell you. No matter how the content is perceived, now it's given, and what people say. Oh well, you look like this, you look like that. Why are you shouting? Why are you swearing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why have you got these tattoos? Why have you got this? Why have you got that? Doesn't matter. None of that matters. Yeah, it's the information that counts. That's it for this now. I'm just gonna go through slowly so you can have a pause if you like, and you can read the ones that I've not done. I'm gonna leave a link anyway, so you can go and have a look. Just going through slowly so you can have a quick look at. You can pause it and have a read if you want to have a read of the ones that I'm not gonna do. There we go. It's nearly, I think, we're nearly at the end. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link anyway in every one of these videos that I've done. I've done a few of them now. And that's it. Like I said, that was from the University of Texas at El Paso. And it says it's no longer being maintained, but please continue to copy, mirror, update, and share it freely. So it's, there we go. Right, back to the top. That's it. These ones are done. Master list of logical fallacies. I hope it helps people to discern for themselves and see the bullshit, basically. And it's not just seeing it in other people, it's seeing it, recognizing it in yourself as well. And try not to use these fallacies yourself, and recognizing them in yourself. Yeah. Try and avoid using them yourself. Okay. Thank you. That's it for tonight. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to have a cup of tea. I might go to bed. We're up at 7 in the morning. Okay. Good night. Thank you. Bye.